Hey Ananya, welcome back to the English Speaking Spot podcast. Today, we're talking about something we all do, our daily habits and their surprising power.
Thanks, Rahul. It's true. We often think big changes need big actions. But really, small daily routines shape our lives more than we realize.
Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 3 on the channel. Thrilled you're joining us for this deep dive. Let's start with morning routines. Many successful people have specific rituals. Why do you think that first hour is so important?
I believe it sets the tone for your entire day. A calm, focused morning can lead to better decisions and less stress later. It's like programming your brain.
That's a great point. It's not about being rigid. It's about creating a positive anchor. But what about bad habits? How do they quietly hold us back?
They create invisible barriers. A habit of hitting snooze steals precious morning time. Scrolling before bed can ruin your sleep quality. Small actions have compound effects.
So the key is awareness. We must first notice our automatic behaviors. Can you share a simple way to track our habits effectively?
Sure. Just keep a tiny notebook for 3 days. Write down your regular actions without judgment. You'll see clear patterns. This awareness is the first step to change.
I love that. Observation before action. Now, how do we actually build a new, good habit? People often try too much and fail.
Start incredibly small. Want to read more? Read just 1 page a night. Aim to meditate? Start with 1 minute. The goal is consistency, not massive effort.
That makes change feel less scary. Attach the new tiny habit to an existing one, right? Like doing a stretch after you brush your teeth.
Yes. This is called habit stacking. Your established routine becomes a trigger. It provides a clear cue for the new behavior you want. It dramatically increases success.
Let's talk about environment. How does our physical space support or sabotage our habit goals? This is often overlooked.
It's everything. Want to eat healthier? Place fruits on the counter, not hidden. Want to reduce phone use? Charge it in another room. Make good choices easy and bad ones hard.
So we design our surroundings for success. What about the mental environment? How do we deal with the days we just don't feel like it?
The 2-day rule is powerful. Never skip your new habit 2 days in a row. Life happens. Miss 1 day, but get back immediately. This protects long-term consistency.
Perfection is the enemy of progress. Let's discuss keystone habits. These are habits that trigger positive changes in other areas of life. What's an example?
Regular exercise is a classic keystone habit. It often leads to better eating, improved productivity, and even more patience. One change creates a ripple effect across your life.
That's powerful. So focusing on one key habit can simplify self-improvement. How long does it truly take to form a solid habit?
The old 21-day myth isn't accurate. Research suggests an average of 66 days for automaticity. But it varies. Be patient and focus on the process, not the calendar.
Patience is key. How important are rewards in making a habit stick? Should we celebrate small wins?
Absolutely. Our brains love positive reinforcement. After your tiny habit, give a small reward. A smile, a checkmark, a moment of pride. This wires your brain to want to repeat it.
That turns duty into a more enjoyable experience. What's the biggest mistake people make when trying to change habits?
Trying to change too much at once. They overhaul their entire life on Monday. By Wednesday, it's overwhelming and they quit. One tiny habit at a time is the sustainable path.
Slow and steady wins the race. Ananya, if someone takes one thing from this chat, what should it be?
Start incredibly small. Pick one tiny positive habit. Stack it onto your existing routine. Be consistent, not perfect. Your future self will thank you for this simple start.
Wonderful advice, Ananya. Before we go, our listeners might have specific struggles. Let's tackle a common one, procrastination. How can habits help with that?
Great question, Rahul. Procrastination is often a habit loop. You feel a task is daunting, so you delay. Breaking the task into a tiny first step is the key. Just open the document.
Just open it? That seems too simple. But you're saying the action of starting is the biggest barrier. Once you begin, momentum can sometimes carry you forward.
Exactly. The habit isn't write the full report. It's sit at my desk at 9 a.m. and open the file. That's it. Your brain learns this action is easy and painless, breaking the avoidance cycle.
That reframes the goal completely. What about social habits? We are influenced by the people around us. How does that work?
It's powerful. You're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. If your friends have healthy habits, you'll likely adopt them. Our brains are wired for social mimicry.
So, to change your habits, sometimes you need to change your social circle? Or at least, find a community that supports your new goals.
Not always change completely, but seek alignment. Join a running group if you want to run. Find a book club. Your environment includes people, and their support makes a huge difference.
Let's get practical on breaking a bad habit. Say someone wants to stop mindless snacking at night. What's a good first tiny step?
First, understand the cue. Is it boredom, stress, or watching TV? Then change the routine. Keep a glass of water by your couch. When the cue hits, drink the water first. You disrupt the pattern.
You're not saying, never snack. You're inserting a new, healthier behavior into the old loop. That feels more manageable than sheer willpower.
Precisely. Willpower is a limited resource. Habit design is about using structure, not just strength. Make the good behavior easy and the bad behavior slightly harder.
What about technology? Apps and trackers are huge in the habit space. Are they helpful, or do they just add pressure?
They can be great tools for awareness, but dangerous for perfectionists. A tracker should be a friendly mirror, not a harsh judge. If you miss a day, it's data, not failure. Learn and continue.
So the app serves the habit, not the other way around. Now, a deep question. Can we use habits to improve our relationships or emotional health?
Absolutely. A habit of expressing one gratitude each day to your partner. A habit of taking a deep breath before responding in anger. These small, repeated actions reshape our emotional patterns.
That's beautiful. Tiny rituals of connection. It seems habits touch everything. Is there a danger, though? Can life become too robotic?
A vital point, Rahul. Habits are tools for freedom, not chains. They automate the fundamentals, health, work, finances, so you have mental space for spontaneity, creativity, and joy where it matters.
I love that perspective. Habits create the space for a richer life. They aren't the whole picture. So we shouldn't aim to habitize everything.
No, we shouldn't. The goal is to use habits thoughtfully for the foundation. Then, you have more energy to be fully present for life's unpredictable, wonderful moments.
Ananya, this has been an incredible deep dive. Any final piece of wisdom for someone feeling overwhelmed right now?
Just one thing. Tomorrow morning, do one tiny thing intentionally. Make your bed. Drink a glass of water. Savor your coffee without your phone. Own one moment. That's how every big change begins.
That's such a powerful place to start. It's about claiming a small victory first thing. It sets a precedent for the day. But what happens when that one thing starts to feel like a chore? How do we keep it fresh?
That's a natural phase, Rahul. The initial excitement fades. This is where we shift from motivation to commitment. We remember the why. We aren't just making a bed, we are building discipline.
So the feeling doesn't have to be the driver. The action itself is the driver. But can we tweak the tiny habit if it gets stale? To keep some engagement?
Absolutely. Variety within consistency. If savoring coffee feels boring, maybe switch it to listening to one favorite song. The core habit is mindful morning moment. The form can change to suit you.
That's flexible and smart. Let's talk about the opposite end of the day. How do nighttime habits set us up for success? They seem just as crucial.
They are the bookend. A good night prepares for a good morning. A simple habit like reviewing 3 good things from your day. It trains your brain to scan for the positive, Improving your outlook.
A gratitude practice, but framed so simply. Not a long journal, just 3 things. What about the physical prep for the next day? Is that a useful habit?
Incredibly useful. It's called closing the kitchen. Lay out your clothes. Pack your bag. Write your first task down. This does 2 things. It reduces morning friction and signals to your brain that work is over.
It creates a psychological boundary between work and rest. I love that. So we have a morning anchor and an evening closing ritual. What about the mess of the middle, the workday itself?
The workday needs habit anchors too. The most powerful one I know is time blocking. Habitually dedicating specific chunks to specific tasks. It prevents reactive, scattered work and protects deep focus.
So it's a habit of planning your time with intention, not just responding to emails. Even if it's just one 25-minute block for your most important task.
Yes. The Pomodoro technique is a perfect habit for this. Work for 25, break for 5. It builds a rhythm. The habit isn't the work, it's the starting and stopping on time. It manages your energy.
This makes habits sound like the architecture of a good day. We're designing our time with intention. But life throws chaos at us. How do habits survive a crazy, unpredictable day?
This is the real test. Your habits become your anchor in the storm. On a chaotic day, you might only do your one tiny morning thing in your evening review. That's enough. You maintain the chain.
The goal is resilience, not perfection. Sam, we've covered the mind and routine. What about the body? Are there foundational physical habits beyond exercise?
2 are non-negotiable: hydration and posture. Habitually sipping water and checking your posture. They affect energy, focus, and long-term health massively. Set a phone reminder to sip and sit straight.
Small, constant adjustments. Not about drinking a gallon in one go, but consistent sips. It's the same principle applied physically. This has been so comprehensive.
It all connects, Rahul. A tiny mental habit builds discipline. A physical habit builds energy. An evening habit builds gratitude. They weave together to form a better life, one thread at a time.
Thread by thread. Ananya, I think our listeners have an amazing blueprint now. Start incredibly small, be consistent, build your anchors.
And remember to be kind to yourself. Habit building is a practice of self-respect. You are worth the effort of that one tiny thing. Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you, Ananya. And thank you all so much for watching episode 3. If this hit home, like, share with a friend, and subscribe. New video coming soon. Drop your one tiny habit in the comments. See you next time. Keep stacking those wins.